Hello, and welcome back to Soul Axiom, Part 7. We will now be tackling the university level, and personally I'm not a big fan of this level, mostly because the layout of it is kind of bad, actually. I'm not a big fan of this level's layout, but we'll see what I mean a bit later. Right now you start out in what appears to be the passenger's compartment of an airplane. So you might be wondering, why is this called the university if this is your first time? Well, as you'll find out shortly, this isn't exactly what you think it is. First, look around in one of these luggage compartments to find the crank. Note that it is always randomized, so just keep looking for it until this happens. If you manage to find it before this cutscene, congrats. If you didn't, keep looking. It's in one of the compartments. Don't forget that you can look at both the ones above the seats and below the seats. But yeah, now as you can see, you can shoot those hinges. Shoot them with your Mega Man hand and be quick about it, cause you're apparently sinking. And as you might have gathered, you're not very good at breathing. First of all, let's get out of what this appears to be a pool. This appears to be a pool. Yeah, let's get out of that. And as you can see, this isn't an airplane at all. It's just a simulation. Well, that's an interesting twist, I suppose. You can't die there if you're not fast enough, which will mean that you'll have to restart. But it's not very difficult to get past. That switch will open up the door to this area. As you can see, this leads you to the Memory Fragment. So, yeah, it's not very difficult to find. It's actually in a completely optional area of this level. You don't have to go here for any other reason than to get a Memory Fragment, and that's about it. I do believe if you hit that switch, the door to that area will remain open forever. There will be several jump cuts in this video because I've been walking all over the place seeing what needs to be done, because well, that's just my problem with this level. I don't know if other people have this issue, but I just can't remember where to go. This level is not very linear at all. You might remember that other levels are pretty linear. You would just keep going in a fairly straight line, doing puzzles as you move along and getting to the end. No problem there. This one, on the other hand, well, we already see our goal, but the goal is inaccessible because it's inside a centrifuge tube. So we need to get inside it. There are several clues scattered around this room and other places which we'll need to use to get inside the centrifuge tube. However, this is where I remember that one of the computers is actually significant in this level. Unfortunately, I don't remember which, and I don't remember how to make use of it. But we'll get to that soon enough. Right now, our first puzzle. And also one of the hints as to where to find one of the things we'll be needing. For some reason, one of the keys we'll need to get past this level is inside the girl's bathroom. Who the hell leaves keys in there? That's dumb. Also, I like how plastic that looks. But this puzzle is very simple. You need to assemble a missile. It'll be done for a simulation, which is here. And I think it has to go over there. I don't remember. But the idea is pretty simple. You look at this blueprint and you match up the pieces to assemble the missile correctly. And if you're wondering, the missile has to be assembled at the bottom row where the blast shield is. I initially forgot about it. Hence my slight confusion. You will need for the bottom part you will need the piece that has 2 rockets attached on the side, and for the middle piece you'll need the tube which has stuff in it, and for the top piece you will need, well, that squarish thing. I believe that's this. I don't remember what exactly it is. It's basically like a capsule where spacemen go in. That's where we sit while the rocket is flying out into space. I'm not entirely sure how to describe it. It's basically, well, as this model would suggest, it's kind of like a landing module or something like that. I don't really know. It doesn't matter. As you can see, once it successfully lands on that fake planet, the way through will open up. Now, why exactly do we need to do that just to get the thing to open up? I don't know, it's puzzles, it's Soul Axiom. Does it really matter why, as long as you know how? Probably not. However, this area can be a little bit confusing right now. First things first, we need to break this vent to go down here. Oh, but what's this? Why, it's a puzzle. First assemble these floating pieces with your phase hand. But you will notice, if this isn't your first time playing, that something is amiss. And in fact it is true, something is indeed amiss. And that is another problem I have with this level. If your graphical settings are not correctly set up, you will not be able to solve this puzzle in particular. In fact, you need to turn on the shadow detail to, I believe, the highest level, or something around that, to be able to see these shadows in particular. Because you need to use them to see that you turn the pieces around to assemble a particular shape. That shape in particular. It doesn't have to be very exact, but it has to resemble the shape for the most part. It's not very difficult to do. As soon as you see it, hit the freeze, and there you go. You'll need to do this with all 3 of the projectors until the door out of this place opens up. And there you go. All 3 projectors are now activated. That door will open up later. This door, on the other hand, is what opened up. You will find another ventilation grate to crawl through. I believe in some of these ventilation shafts you can find random skeletons, which makes you wonder just what kind of dumbasses went crawling through this place, because these shafts are not particularly long. I mean, surely we could have gotten out one way or another. Well, anyway, apparently the key to the girls' bathroom, my mistake, sorry, was not exactly in the bathroom. It was in the janitor's office. I made a slight mistake, but does it really matter? We still need to go in there and find out that this bathroom is probably no longer in use due to a massive hole in the floor. What the hell, man? Somebody dug out the damn toilet just to get down here? And they even put up a ladder. It's like they planned this. This area, however, I gotta say, can be rather spooky. Simply because we put up these bloody mannequins all over the place. And when they're in the darkness, when they're not lit up properly, they kinda look creepy. I was waiting for a jump scare to happen, but it just never did. Bastards. I am grateful that we didn't do any jump scares, however, because a puzzle game with jump scares, I don't know, it just doesn't seem to mesh well with me. I mean, we have amnesia for that, and it ain't much of anything. That switch is one of the two switches you need to flip to turn off the centrifuge inside the tube. I did a jump cut here because I was lost for a moment, but now I'll show you that. Remember this grate we destroyed earlier? Now you need to put it back together to go through here and jump down there. You will enter the men's bathroom, the men's toilet. And this is where you get a slight jump scare from the locker. I purposefully lowered the audio here because we really make the door opening up loud, just for the sake of scaring you. You also get to squeak a duck, because you know, men's bathrooms always have squeaky ducks. But entering here was not in vain, for we did acquire a very essential tool for ourselves, the USB. Stick it in this computer and it will open up a passageway to the last puzzle. There aren't that many puzzles in each level, I've noticed, but in this one in particular you will be greeted with probably the most confusing one of them all. Here are the hints. The puzzle will have something to do with emotions and brains, as you can probably tell by now, so you need to remember what each part of the brain corresponds to. Also, you need to memorize which emotion corresponds to which spot which is connected to the chair. Alright? What is it connected to? Oh, well, we'll see. Also, keep in mind that the yellow duh face does not go anywhere. Well, as you can see, here is the chair in question, and here are the computers in question which are connected to it. You need to attune the emotions on each one of these computers, as I just did. The relation that you're supposed to look at, the orientation, is facing towards the door, I believe. You wouldn't be able to tell that easily from these hints because, well, who the fuck even knows how to tell properly? It's not oriented properly. But since there's only 4 computers, it's not that difficult to figure out. Then you just need to keep spinning the chair and freeze it at the right spots. You don't have to freeze it at every spot. I'm just doing this to show what you should expect when you do it right. Normally when you spin the chair like this, you will have all of the spots on the brain picture there light up in the correct colors of the corresponding emotions. That's how you're supposed to attune that chair and the emotion computers and whatnot. Ah, the ladder. I can't reach it, and now I should be able to. And that is the centrifuge spinning slowly and slowly. But don't worry, we will get to it and it will no longer spin, for we have turned off the last switch. Overall, this level isn't too bad. It's just that I feel the layout is a bit odd, because I can never remember where to go in just this one level. In all other levels, I can remember where to go for the most part, but in this one, I don't know. It just something doesn't let me remember. Anyway, touch the guy in the centrifuge and you're good to go. I do hope it's called a centrifuge. I believe it's called like that, but I honestly can't remember. And welcome to the university's Memory Fragment level. The one that will definitely tell you, boy, you're a fucking idiot. As you can see, you need to put in the numbers in the correct order to fill out that equation. Here's the hint. Ignore the equation. The hints are, well, not even the hints, the answers are actually spelled out to you right in front of you. Sneaky bastards, those developers from Veils Interactive, or whatever they're called again. I'm pretty sure it's Veils Interactive. They're pretty sneaky with this shit, I gotta tell you that. I spent quite a few hours trying to figure this shit out. Up until recently, I just saw... No, you don't have to figure out anything. You just need to put in Soul Axiom Elysia. The 3 words that you see in this level. And if you don't believe me, well, you don't have to. But you can see that the solution is working. Because you get 2 other equations after you fill out the first one. And the numbers that you're supposed to put in the correct order, they correspond to the letters of the words. So if I type in Alicia, all of the numbers that correspond to each of the letters, they are in the same order as, well, as they should be. They are in the correct order. So the numbers would spell out Alicia, and Alicia would spell out the numbers that you're supposed to put in. I hope that made sense. But how do you know which number is which letter? Well, there's a handy phone that you can check to the very left of the desk. Just step on it and you'll see a reference sheet for numbers, which letters they correspond to. Once you put in all 3 once you put in the numbers for all 3 equations, however, you get here and everything's pretty straightforward. Don't get pushed off by the pistons, don't get zapped by the lasers. Basically, don't fuck up. Get good, in fact. Although it's not very difficult to get good in a game like this, I would say. I mean, look at this, the patterns are pretty predictable. Just keep an eye out on how they work, you'll figure it out fairly quickly. And then you'll end up inside the screen. Neat. But here's the thing now. You need to zap the goal hands with those laser beams, right? Unlike all other levels, this is the one level where you'll definitely need to make sure that you're just close enough to stand inside the beam. All other levels either made sure that you either zap the hands with the beams without using corruption hands, or the laser beam shot close enough to the goal hands to just give you that idea right away. Here it's a bit different. You simply need to make sure the laser shoots up to the top of the pillar that you can stand on, the one that I'm facing right now actually. Once you get the lasers to shoot past it in an angle that it actually zaps your body, that's good enough. But me, in my infinite dumbassery, I didn't quite realize that right away. Make sure to lower the left pillar first so that you would be able to see goal hands that you are supposed to shoot. This is good enough. You can hit the goal hands with the lasers like this. I hope I realize that now. Yes, I did. I did good. Just zap the goal hands from here, and the rest is history. For no particular reason will the goal hands make noise without even being touched. Don't worry, they'll make more noise when you touch them too. Odd. Must be a bug or something.
Sad, isn't it?
What is?
That people like him are lost to us forever. We could stare at his skeleton until this time tomorrow. We still wouldn't know anything more about him but his bone structure. If soul capture technology had existed back then, just think how many souls would have been preserved. A conscious, interactive record of humanity.
Some souls, Davis, do not deserve to be preserved.
Huh?
John Bishop was a resurrectionist, a body snatcher. He and his thugs murdered innocent people so that he could sell their bodies to anatomists. There are some people the world is better off without.
Huh? Could this be in any way at all significant to the plot? You bet your ass it is. But without spoiling too much, we'll have to say, stay tuned for part 8.